customer service. If you extend your business to one office is enough, how many engineers for the customer service in China?
Well, we got the office in China. We're just expanding, so we'll have up to 70 people in that office, 70. And that includes customer service, marketing, and finance, and technical support. But we have the same in we have a smaller office in Hong Kong. We have an office in Taipei, and yeah, maybe at some point we'll look at places like Xi'an and Chengdu. But it's less important for an online model to have lots of offices. It's not needed as much. Yeah, I mean, say when 82% of your new customers find you online, then spending more investment online is of more use than opening offices locally. So we have to have offices in China, just like we have to have offices in India and Germany and Sweden and everywhere else. But we don't need lots of offices within a country particularly. So.
Another question, because we always heard about the distributors and the manufacturers always have some issues have to deal with. They have different targets, different opinions. So how does the Monster deal with this issue?
Well, I say we got over 500 manufacturers that we work with. So we only stock. We're authorized for all those parts, and that's very important. I mean, and I think it's going to become more important for China. The rest of the world being authorized is by far the most important thing in distribution. So unauthorized distribution in the Americas and Europe is very small. Unauthorized distribution in China is today very big. But I think that will change as people seek to find the highest quality components. They seek to get that quality which they can't always get on a consistent basis from cheaper manufacturers. So yeah, each manufacturer goes to market very differently. We try to make sure that we take each of their products to market in the way that gets them their most value. So Daphne's team really is, we're very big on the marketing. So it's a big drive for us to make sure that we offer our customers what they want. So for electronic direct marketing, for instance, we want to send information only about things that you're interested in. So we try to send only semiconductor information to semiconductor people, because if you send them things on connectors, they're not very interested, and they'll unsubscribe you. But we're trying to take it really to the next level of really understanding what the customer really needs in total. So, the profiling of the customer now in terms of what their interest is, what their market sector is really, really important to us, because, globally now we have approaching 400,000 customers, and in Asia we have now around about 55,000 subscribers. So we have a lot of people now who subscribe to Mauser. So we consistently send them information about all the suppliers we have. Obviously, some suppliers are more important than others, so we're more likely to send things out on TI and on Maxim and analog devices than some smaller lines. And a lot more focus really on the semiconductor products, because for our target market, most design engineers are more interested in semiconductors than any other product. So that's where we're focused.
刚刚的问题是说，因为原厂跟分销商之间可能会有不同的兴趣、利益或兴趣嘛。那我们常听到就是说，很多原厂他可能希望分销商去卖这些料、备这些货，可是分销商他可能有的会想说，我要卖对我赚比较多钱的，那不赚钱的他都不想卖，常常会听到有这样子的。有一些 conflict 啊，我们讲会有一些不同旗舰就是了。但是对猫舍来讲，反正我们就非常的清楚，我们做的一定都是推广，都是最新的物料。那其实原厂对我们的期待就是帮他带来更多新的客户。那其实这个都是非常一致的。对于猫舍的话，我们就没有所谓的什么有价格啊，或者是 profit 好不好的问题，因为你知道新产品出来，它的价格定义本来就是在其他的市场竞争上面就会比较少嘛。那刚刚提到说我们怎么样去推广新的客户，就是像我们在这边也是推广很多的像订阅，因为我们是 会经常发很多不同的 e-newsletter 出去，那会根据不同的喜好，如果说有些工程师他对半导体比较喜欢，或者是有的对连接器比较有兴趣，那我们会根据他的喜好去发送不同的讯息，也让这些你们so they also receive our e-newsletter.
Oh, okay, good, good. Yeah.
对，所以我们就你会看到我们的宗旨就是一直推广新的产品给工程师，让他们对这个产品有一些了解跟认识。
然后呢，它的市场遍布全球。那么，就你们来看来说，中国这个市场相比欧美那些地区有哪些特点？
As I compare with the market in Europe and America, what's the feature of the market here in China? What's the difference?
The biggest difference is unauthorized distribution. To be honest, I mean the market itself is much bigger here than anywhere else. So in terms of the amount of components being sold, the China market is bigger than anywhere now. But still, very much the European market and the American market are very, very strong for design. So there's a lot of designs which are done in Europe and Asia which end up being produced in China. But I think the China market is beginning to change, whereby there's more design being done in China. So I think that will change. But today the biggest difference is design Europe and in the Americas and production in China is probably the simplest way to put it. Still small quantity production there's a lot of that in Europe. Small quantity production is still there in the Americas. In Mexico it's quite big for volume because that's really bringing products into America. But most of the volume for our industry is now done in China. So, Apple's going to produce all its boards here. Most telecommunications people are going to build things here, just purely because it's cheaper to do that. Although I have to say it's getting more expensive to do business in China, and I think China probably needs to be careful on that. But because as it becomes more expensive, then it'll move somewhere else. Yeah. So.
所以你需要我给你解释吗？
解释一下。
他就是当然你在讲中国市场跟其他地方有什么不一样嘛？因为他讲到就是说授权，因为在欧洲跟美国他们比较重视你是不是你买的产品是不是一个正货。授权在国内的话，当然有很多都是你知道很多货源来源不明的地方，所以这个最大的不同。那当然这个是我们要努力的方向嘛。另外就是讲到说，当然在欧美比较多是做 design in， 那 design 完之后，很多的生产其实是在中国这边，所以中国其实它的用量是大过于在欧美的，只是在前期的设计的时候还是在欧美会比较多。当然现在我们也看到中国也在这个市场也在渐渐的改变，那中国也慢慢的从以前过去的制造，然后偏到现在的设计也越来越多了。可是刚刚也提到一点，就是说当过去在中国很多工厂在这边做生产，是因为它成本比较低。那现在的你也看到中国很多地方呢，它的成本都渐渐的提高，所以未来当然就说在国内的大家也要特别关注的，就是说如果成本的增加，那未来可能会造成的影响是什么？这可能国内大家都需要特别去思考一下。
In your opinion, what is a good agent or a distributor? What kind of distributor is the good distributor?
Well, for us, to be a good distributor, you need to be authorized. Without that, I think it's very hard to be a good distributor these days. I think it really helps also if the more franchises you have, the more you offer the customer. If you have very few lines, you don't really offer so much to the customer. But the authorized is a big thing that, so much if something goes wrong with a part, you have that link back to the manufacturer to have those conversations about the part. And we get the latest parts before anybody else. So, typically if you're a small, local, unauthorized distributor, you're relying on someone else stocking the part, and you're relying on buying that from somebody else before you can sell it. So there's a lot more variables if you're not authorized. So for us, it's a much better model, and certainly I think it's only a question of time before the China market changes in that way, because It was the same in the Americas 20 years ago. It's the same in Europe 15 years ago. So really, it's a question of. It's not a case of if it's going to change. It's more a question of when. And I think the web's going to help change that, because so many of the people with the good websites, and I'd count Mauser as having a good website. I mean, arguably the best website. That people are going to come to good websites more and more to buy parts. But why would you go to a website who doesn't have the inventory? So you want to go to the guy who has X $100 million worth of inventory on the shelf ready to ship, rather than buying from someone who is going to go buy it for you from somewhere else for a lot of the product. It's a much more tortuous link. Yeah?
对，他说怎么样才成为一个好的分销商嘛？那当然，对我们来讲，我们觉得说，它是不是被原厂授权的，这是非常的重要。因为被原厂授权，代表的就是说，你拿的产品，它的货的质量是有被保证的。那将来万一真的出了什么样问题的时候，因为我们都有做这个可以追踪的，所以这个东西都回复到原厂的部分，所以你买产品的时候也比较安心，是可以受到保障的。
Mobile, technology, and automotive electronics, and also the smartphone and the Internet of Things. This kind of items, right?
Yeah.
So developed so rapidly right now all over the world. And we knew that power supply is the heart of all these electronic products, right?
Yep.
And which makes a huge power IC market is also. And however, the general trend of science and technology development at present is energy conservation and environment protection.
Yeah.
And green energy.
Yeah.
Energy efficiency, right? Like that. And in your opinion, will power management IC undergo an important change?
I don't think it's going to change that much that quickly. I mean, if we look at all the energy harvesting and all the green things that are going on, it's still a relatively small part of the market. And for many years we've been talking about all those types of products really taking off. And yes, they've taken off, but still it hasn't impacted the power management side of things at all. In fact, you'd probably have to say the power management side is still increasing faster than the energy harvesting is. So it's I'm not sure it's going to change that quickly. So, most of the major manufacturers that we have are very heavily into the power side of things, and I don't think they see a huge risk or change from the rest of the market. All they're doing is they're taking on some of those other products to go alongside their power parts, so they cover both angles. But I don't think the power management side is going to change drastically. I mean,
Yeah, well, the power management you need to save the energy, right?
Yeah.
对，他问题就是说，关于这个power 电源管理嘛，会不会改变这个市场？虽然你看到现在很多光伏啊或太阳能啊这些市场起来，好像会影响到 power management 这一块，其实我们觉得不太会真的是去影响到这个就电源管理的这个生意。因为其实你看到很多原厂他们在做电源管理的时候，其实现在想的方法是怎么样用最省的电力去做更大的那个电源供应嘛，而不是说怎么是去被取代，所以这个其实是不相冲突的。
Some research agency have some report said that China automotive chip market will grow at the rate of 9% to 12% next 4 years. And the revenue will reach 6.1 billion by maybe next 3 years, maybe 2017.
Yeah.
And this is such a big market. And what does Mauser think? Semiconductors, ST, and like some other Texas instruments companies, and they will do for the next few years.
Well, I think the first thing is it's good news for the industry. I mean, certainly a lot of the by far now China is the biggest automotive market in the world. I forget the exact details, but it is now by far the largest automotive market in the world. And certainly the likes of TI and ST continue to produce more products for the automotive market in China. So I think a lot of it also depends on the designs as well, though, because still a lot of the designs for automotive are not done in China. So even though there's a lot of production here, a lot of the designs are still done by either typically US or German manufacturers produce a lot of cars, and a lot of those designs are not done in China, but the production is done here. So you'll see the likes of TI, ADI, Maxim, ST producing more parts for automotive, designing those in all around the world, and ultimately they'll be bought here in China. I guess there's also local producers who produce as well, and it depends what people want to use. I mean, or which companies it is and who's designed it. But that $6.1 billion market, that may even be an understatement, because I think you said they're 9 to 12% in the next 4 years.
Yes.
I'd be surprised if it didn't grow by more than that.
You don't think it will be this rate?
I think it'll be more.
More.
Yeah.
50%?
I'd be surprised if it's not 15 to 20%. So, yeah. I'm not a guru on automotive, but I'd say that's a low number. Yeah.
他认为这个汽车的增长在中国一定应该会大于这个数字，因为刚刚讲大概12到15%嘛，认为应该不止这些。虽然对，因为现在当中国是最大的一个汽车的市场在这，那还是很多的研发在欧洲、美国那边去做研发，然后在这边生产。所以就是为什么像刚刚提到 TI 啊这些他们在做这个半导体，还有像菲斯卡尔啊这些都还是很侧重在这个汽车电器的元件上的开发。尤其他刚刚没提到啦，是我自己加的，就是说，当然很多呢汽车工业他们讲的是会关乎到人的生命嘛。那毕竟这样的产品你还是需要非常高的技术含量，那也不是说一般的比如说其他的厂家想要去做这个汽车的这个可以符合到这个汽车的这个安全规范，大家可以去生产的，所以还是需要比较高端的技术来支持。
那包括航空航天那类军事还有军事类，它应该也会占比例比较小。
对，占比例比较小。那其实as about also the aerospace and military will also be small the portion in our business.
Yeah, actually, I mean, our parent company, TTI, aerospace and military is a very big part of their business. So the sister company is much stronger in that. And that's only just purely because they've always grown up as a military distributor. We are actually approved, so for AS9100C, which is one of the approvals for aerospace. So we're the only catalog distributor who has that approval. So that's a big approval when it comes to aerospace. So yes, AS9100C, it's a big approval. So
AS9100C 就是AS9100C， 我们是唯一目录型分销商有拿到这个认证，是可以去供货给航太工业的。所以，对，这个是其他人都没有的。那刚刚提到说，我们看到这边我们有 TTI 嘛，是我们的母公司。那他们在航太工业、军事方面是特别侧重的，所以这个部分的生意他们是做的比较多。
那刚才您也说了，他们这些行业对这个元器件它的安全性啊要求都是非常高的。那当时你们是怎样解决他们这个疑惑的？
他们是指客户吗？
对。
对，因为今天我们是原厂代理嘛。You say how do we serve the customers concern that the automotive quality grade?
Okay.
So, yeah, we explain to them because we are the authorized distributor. Our suppliers they have the grade. 对，因为我们就是代理原厂嘛，那这些原厂它本来它的产品就是受这个汽车用认证过的，所以客户来跟我们买，他知道说哦，原来他买的是菲斯卡尔直接认证过的，因为你知道汽车用的跟一般普通商业用的 他们是有不同的客户量号，所以客户是可以去分别的。
主要是看认证这个资质。
对对，没错。
您刚刚提到的其实说的是那个航空业用的，
对，汽车也是，航空也是，对，因为军事方面也是要求非常的高的，每一个都是。
我们这边有提到一个，就说是aerospace industry using right for the electronics IC chips like
Yeah.
that. And you cannot only by test to reach the standard because you maybe you never know the environment how harsh it is, right? So how can you reach the standard? You must also get limited experience as agency.
Yeah, no, we get approved as a supplier. I mean, on the back of the fact that first of all you have to have the approved manufacturers. So and then we have to prove that we follow the quality procedure through the system from when we receive it from a. So we receive a quality approved part from a TI, say, and then we have to prove to the agency that we follow all those procedures all the way through. So anyone who buys a TI part or a TE part or an ST part can buy it through that AS9100C, and I say we're the only catalog guy who has that. So.
就是至于原厂，他也会认证我们这个分销商嘛。那既然我们已经被这个 AS100C 已经认证过，就表示我们是所有的程序都是符合规定的。就像很多像我们知道汽车厂，因为你知道很多汽车出了问题，它不是要去把它叫回来吗？车子要重修，它就是可以透过召回。那因为我们有那个做所有产品的追踪，所以我们在收货的那一刻起就开始进到系统里边，到每一站每一个出货到谁的手上都可以被追踪得到的。
We knew that all over the world, the international market of the IC industry reaches 200 billion, maybe more.
Yeah.
But Chinese market, the development is still severely lagging, right? So as a distributor, also set up in China, and so what do you think are the major shortcomings for the Chinese IC industry compared with some other areas like Europe?
I still think brand makes a big difference, and when people are talking about semiconductors, they automatically think of people like TI, they think of Freescale, they think of the big brands. So it's a lot harder for local manufacturers of semiconductor parts, I think, to become a big player in the market. People get used to trusting brands, and I think that's only going to become more and more so. I think what you'll find is there will be some China brands which will become brands, but I think they need to focus more on getting more on branding themselves and branding the quality they have, because when it comes to semiconductors, cheap's not always best. It has to be good. It has to have high quality. It has to work. It has to be reliable always. And typically the big American semiconductor guys for years have had that. I mean, so they brand themselves very well. The quality is of the highest quality, and I say a lot of the designs are still done outside of China. So I think the big opportunity for the China semiconductor manufacturers would be when more designs come to China, then I think that could begin to change things. But the likes of TI, Freescale, NXP, Analog Devices, they're all spending so much money in making themselves known and well known in China that it gets harder for the local manufacturers to become part of the fabric of the industry. So, but it'll be interesting. There will be some, in my opinion, there will be some big semiconductor manufacturers who will appear from China, but I think it's probably not as many as people may think. I think once people start looking at comparing a long-established product from TI versus a not such a long-established product from a local manufacturer, and the price is similar, or maybe 10-20% more with TI, people may just say, okay, well, I trust the brand, I trust the quality, it's worth paying a little bit extra for it. they're more likely to be bringing out new technologies quicker, rather than a technology which is one that's going to follow because maybe it's been copied. I don't know. So it'll be interesting, yeah.
所以他就说，当然最重要是品牌嘛，什么国内国外怎么差异？因为国内毕竟半导体 IC 产业也是最近这几年才发展出来，那跟国外的比，看人家已经耕耘了好几十年，那现在刚做起来的时候，大部分国内的半导体制造的产品都是比较是通用性的比较多，比较少一些新的产品。那刚刚也提到说，当然因为一个大的品牌，它之所以这么成功，做的这么长久了，也是因为它的可归信耐度，所以它的整个研发能力也是非常的高。也为什么让它一直在这个市场上可以去做？那当然不是说国内的厂家是没有机会，因为你看到很多现在越来越多的设计也都移到中国了。那只要设计在中国的话，那国内的很多这些半导体的厂家还是有机会，因为当它的产品出来能够被design印进去的话，所以它未来还是有这个成功的希望。
You mentioned that Chinese manufacturer need more branding and more quality for designs, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we have the government support.
Yeah.
Already. In last year, last year December, Beijing allowed to establish RMB 30 billion private equity fund. It's a fund to develop integrated circuit industry. So other cities like Shanghai and Shenzhen, city also they also have some government items to support this.
Yeah.
Also. And you think it will affect the business of Monster in China working in the next year, maybe in this year or next year?
I think short term, not at all. I mean, we're still growing our customers in Asia with the brands that we have. As we look at potentially future warehousing maybe in the region, although that's not something we're doing right now, we're more likely at that point to take on maybe some local brands. But from the standpoint of a local China brand, we would probably not really choose to stock that for the American market or the Europe market. So until we had a warehouse in China, it's probably not something we'd look at. And I think from an overall perspective, most of the semiconductors are made here anyway. Whether it's TI, Analog Devices, Freescale. I mean, there might be American companies, but they all make it in China now. So, it's still a local product just made by an overseas company. So it depends where the investment's going, whether the investment's going into trying to bring more of those manufacturers of the global semiconductor people here, or whether it's to local manufacturers. Because I'd imagine some of that money is trying to get TI to open a new fab in Wuhan, or Analog Devices to open it, as well as money to local Chinese companies, because it still employs a lot of people. Doesn't matter who owns it. Yeah, so whether if it's owned by TI and it's got 20,000 people being employed, that's good news. So I think it'll take a while, I think, for the China IC industry to really compare with some of the big brands from the US. Yeah.
对，他就是说，因为当然这边写说会有对这些城市啊有大量的资金注入嘛，那当然他觉得说在1-2年不会这么快的改变，但是当长期来看也不见得。可是讲到这个投资呢，因为我们不是这么清楚说这个投资是全部会投资在本土的 IC 产业，还是有些，因为你知道很多像这个大品牌德州仪器啦、ADI 啊这些，他们其实很多半导体也都在国内生产的嘛，有很大的生产基地。那是不是有些投资也会在这些大厂原厂里边，让他们扩大他们的生产，然后也可以招到更多的工人，都是对国内的一个招工啊各方面来讲也都是一个提升。所以这个部分就是说，当然短期之内不会这么快的受到影响。那等到就是国内的一些品牌 做的更就是说更知名了之后，当然你刚刚问到说那 Mouse 怎么去做？那像 Mouse 我们现在当然代理的品牌都是就是全球国际知名的一些品牌。那也不是说我们会排斥国内的品牌，其实对于我们在亚洲这个行销团队来讲，我们也是关注很多国内的品牌。只要国内的品牌它的产品的质量跟技术是能够创新的，这其实未来我们也是会去跟国内的一些厂家合作，去摆库存啊。尤其如果我们在亚洲有自己的库存的时候，这个会更快加速这样子的一个合作模式产生。
再问2个问题。
Two more questions.
Okay.
一个是
I know we had lunch at 12, but we're late already.
对啊，我们有一个 meeting 是12点，现在12点半了。
那个其实这个是问你们
There you go, be quick, we're good.
一个是你们公司对自己的定位，第二个就是在今年你们在亚洲，特别是在中国的一个规划发展目标。
Okay, so is our company? How do we define our company and our future goal in China?
I mean, our goal is to become the design engineer's choice. So, you know, we want every design engineer in China, when they're looking for new parts, to think of Mauser first. We'd love them to go to the website first, because we think that's the place where they can find the most information on the most parts and then buy it very easily. So, you know, we give them access to the widest portfolio of stock from all our manufacturers. But really, if we had to ask for one thing, we just want every design engineer, when they sit down to design a board, to think of Mauser first.
我想这2个问题其实就可以一起回答，就定位跟就是我们希望工程师当他在设计元件，他在设计他的产品的时候，能够第一时间想到Mauser，这是我们最希望我们的目标跟达成，因为我们提供最宽广的产品，然后我们也希望他可以透过网络的搜寻，因为现在年轻人本来就使用网络的非常发达，能够会最快的去搜寻到这些最新的产品跟最丰富的资料。